MashaAllah, there's more people with white beards and white hair that are sitting. So they are also young at heart. MashaAllah. Allah accept, inshallah. The snacks that will be provided are for those that sit in this program, inshallah. So for those of you that are going, you are welcome to take a U-turn and come back, inshallah. The etiquettes of the masjid, inshallah, won't be as long as Mullah Vaid's bayan, because Maulana Vaid's bayan, I saw he had 2.5 pages. Mine is only 1 page. And I think he only gave half his bayan, so it was 1.5 page. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Firstly, this is not a bayan. And I don't teach at the school, so I'm not a school teacher. It's not a classroom. So as far as possible, we will try and have an interactive discussion. Okay? But during this interactive discussion, we should remember that we are sitting in the masjid. Right? This is my uncle, he's 70 plus. But don't look at him like that, he's very young. Even my auntie says he's very young. Nonetheless, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Some people have got hearing aids. They're also young here, but they are sitting here for this program. And they say I must talk louder. As you know, my name is Ismail bin Abi Bakr. The reason for saying my name like this is because most of you do Islamic history. And in Islamic history, the names of Sahaba radiallahu anhum are bin something. Umar bin Khattab, Umar bin Abdul Aziz, etc. So my name is Ismail and my father's name is Abu Bakr. We won't have this competition now to see how many generations of fathers and grandfathers you know. So this is homework. Okay. The next program we have on Saturday, inshallah, next week Saturday, is going to be a competition. You have to say your name, your father's name, your grandfather's name, your great-grandfather's name, your great-great-grandfather's name. Whether they're living or dead, you have to say all their names. Nonetheless, it is an honor and privilege for me to stand here before you. And I'm humbled to see so many people that have sat for this program. And so many youngsters and so many youth that brought their sleeping bags with. Like I told one brother, all our mothers and our wives, they are emancipated for this night. They are free for this night. They've got no children to shout at, no one to tell to go sleep early, etc. And also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accepted you to sit in His house. See, to be Muslim is not a small thing. It's a very great thing in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we look around us, we will see rich people, we will see poor people. We will see brown people, we will see black people, we will see white people. We will see short people, we will see tall people. We will see handsome people and not so handsome people. We will see, not around us, male, female, young, old, all types of people. But each and every one of us that is sitting here, we have one thing in common. Each and every one of us that is sitting here, we have one thing in common. And that is Iman. That is the ability to be Muslim. And this ability to be Muslim is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose me, He chose you and you and you and all of you to be Muslim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose all of us to be in His house. To be in His house. See, Maulana Vaid, when he started the bayan, he narrated one hadith. Can anyone tell me what was that hadith? If you know it in Arabic, very good. If you know the English translation, or more or less the English translation, very good as well. Anybody can answer, young and old. Mullah Vaid mentioned the hadith in the starting of his bayan. Anyone remember? If nobody remembers, we're going to cut this program short. Because if you can't remember what Mullah Vaid said, where are you going to remember what I'm going to say? So we're going to cut this whole program short. So somebody better talk quickly. Gee, anyone? Mullah Vaid said a hadith in the beginning of his program. I was hoping Mullah Vaid would be here because he'll remind me, because I also forgot what hadith he said. No, I'm just joking. The hadith he said was that the best places on this earth are the masajid. The best places on this earth are the masajid. Which is the best masjid in the whole world? Who can answer the simple question? Gee, the one in Makkah, Kaaba. Second, gee, Medina Munawwara. Third, Medina Munawwara. Second. The third one? Masjid al-Aqsa, mashallah. So the best places in the whole world are the masjids. The best place in Middelburg is where? Gee, where? The masjid, the two masjids, mashallah. So we are in the best place in this whole town right now. That is an honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now this etiquette of the masjid, it's a journey, right? To start this journey, all of us came from where? We came from our homes. Where we came from? We came from our homes. From our house to here, some of us walked, many of us came by car. What did we get for coming from our house to here? What did we get? Gee. Your father is Mawar Iqbal. You got reward. What reward you got? Come. Gee. Reward for reading Salah. But I want to know more specifically, you came from your house to the masjid. What is the reward for leaving the house and coming to the masjid? Gee. Going in the path of Allah, anyone else? For you get? And? Gee. No eating in my class, please. Okay, last chance. You can eat, never mind. Gee, what were you going to say? What were you going to say? Huh? Lot of dua. MashaAllah. Ibrahim gave half the answer. For every step a person takes when he comes to the masjid, one sin is wiped out and he gets one reward, one rank. He's increased in one rank. Right? So, ulama have said that coming to the masjid is not only that when we are in the masjid we are getting reward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us so much that from the time we leave our home, He's already giving us reward. We haven't even come to His house. We haven't even reached the best place in Middelburg. From the time we left our homes, we're already getting reward. And another thing, you see, we won't invite anyone to our house. I won't invite anyone to my house. Somebody I don't like, I won't just invite him to my house. But somebody I like, my friend, your friend, somebody that you like, somebody that you are comfortable with, that person, you will invite him to the masjid. Because why? Because you like him. The person that you don't like so much, like Mullah Muhammad Ali said in his bayan, Jummah bayan, he said, when we are in the company of people we don't like, people who maybe they swear, they are vulgar, they are rude, people that we don't like, We don't want to be in their company. We don't want to be in their company. We want to leave their company. We want to go away from their company. So the people that we like, we invite into our homes. The people that we don't like, we don't normally and naturally invite them to our homes. This is whose house? This is whose house? This is Allah's house. So you think, you tell me, that does Allah like you or does Allah not like you that you are sitting in His house? Does Allah like you that you are sitting in His house? Or if He didn't like you, would you have been in His house? So that means Allah likes me. Say, Allah likes me. Yeah. Allah likes you, Allah likes you. Allah loves all of us because we are in His house. If He didn't like us, He would have thrown us out of His house. Some way or the other, He would have made some excuse, He would have thrown us out of His house. But He loves us. He not only likes us, He loves us. And tonight, He loves us even more because He's making us sleep in His house. He's making us sleep in whose house? Allah's house. Imagine now, from 7 o'clock you left your house till 9 o'clock. But only now you realize how much Allah loves you, that He brought you to His house. He brought you to His house. Somebody is going for Umrah, they go to Makkah, Medina. What we say, hey, mashallah, you're going for Umrah, mashallah, you're going for Hajj, make dua for me. But we haven't realized, when we go to the masjid, how important it is. There is also the house of Allah. So when you hear somebody is going to the masjid, you must say, hey, mashallah, you're going to the masjid. Allah loves you, make dua for me. Allah loves you, make dua for me. There's so many. How many boys in your school, in your class? How many? 9. How many friends of yours are here? From the 9 boys, how many are here? Plus, minus? About 7. 2 are missing, right? Those 2 are Muslim or not Muslim? They're not Muslim. How many children in your class? How many boys in your class? 12. How many of your friends are here? About 11. 1 is short. MashaAllah. So from the 12 boys in your class and from the 9 boys in your class, Allah chose 7. Allah chose 11. 1 Allah didn't choose. But the fact that Allah chose me, Allah chose you to be in His house is no ordinary thing, it's a big thing. Okay, let's carry on now. We came out from our house. We came, every time the wheel turn of the car, all 4 wheels turn, we got a reward. 1 reward we got, and 1 sin got forgiven. This is not fair. When Mullah Vaid was giving the bayan, they didn't tell him when to stop his bayan. Now when I'm giving my bayan, they tell me when I must stop my bayan. So, but I'll stop it, you know why? Because there's pizzas are waiting. Okay. See, the uncles that were walking out, they had pizza, they all sat down. Anyway, you see, when we come to the masjid, and I have to say this, right? Whether you like it or not, I have to say this. Many of you don't drive, but many of you outside these perimeters, you people drive. Today, there were 4 cars that were double parked in our parking lot. There were 4 cars that were double parked in our parking lot. We're coming to the house of Allah. We can't inconvenience people. We have to convenience people. We can't inconvenience people, come inside the masjid and expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to love us. It doesn't work that way. So when we come into the masjid, we are entering the masjid, right? We have to take out our shoes first. Alhamdulillah, one of the most smartest shoe racks in the country is in our masjid. One of the smartest shoe racks in the country is in our masjid. But so many of us don't use the shoe racks. So many of us don't use the shoe racks. We have to start using the shoe racks. We're going to start using the shoe racks. When your shoes are left untidy in your rooms, what your mothers tell you? Or your fathers tell you? Put your shoes right. Put it in its place. Because tomorrow morning when you wake up and you can't find your school shoes, whose fault is it? Whose fault? It's your fault. So put your shoes in its place. Tomorrow morning when you're late for school, you'll find your shoes there. There was one Maulana in Saharanpur in India, the Shaykh al-Hadith. When we went to go visit him, he was sitting there and he had a massive, big library. And all the kitabs are packed in his library. If you ask him for any kitab, he'll say, go to that shelf, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th kitab from the right-hand side, bring that kitab here. If you ask him for any kitab, he'll just tell you, go to that shelf, the 5th kitab from the right-hand side, you pull out that kitab, it is that kitab there. He knows exactly where his kitabs are. And his library is full of kitabs. Maybe about 5 shelves up, about maybe 5 meters across, full of kitabs. But you ask him any time, show me this kitab. He'll tell you, go to that shelf, 5th kitab from the left-hand side, 7th kitab from the right-hand side, pull out that kitab, it is that kitab. He knows exactly where his kitabs are. So when we leave our shoes in a shoe rack, we should know exactly where our shoes are. Anyway, let's speed up the process. We are coming into the masjid. Can anyone read the full dua? You see, there's a board there. There's 2 boards there. See, there's one there, and there's another one there. There's how many duas there? 3 or 4 duas that you have to read when you enter the masjid. I want one person to stand up and to read all the duas from there. Anybody, young and old. Gee, we got 2 duas. One dua, just repeat the dua. The uncle read the dua, Nawaitul Itikaf lillahi azza wa jalla ma dumtu fil masjid. This is the dua for itikaf, which you are making. Itikaf means to spend the night in the masjid, right? So when a person spends the night in the masjid, or he is eating in the masjid, he must make the niyyah, the intention of itikaf. Okay? So this is the dua for the intention of making itikaf. Oh Allah, I am making itikaf for your sake, for your pleasure, for as long as I am in the masjid. Another uncle read the dua, Allahumma ftahli abwaba rahmatik. Oh Allah, Allahumma ftahli, oh Allah, open for me abwab, the doors of mercy. Where else can a person find the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala but the masjid? Where else can a person find the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala but the masjid? If you're looking for Maulana Muhammad Ali, where will you find him? By his house. If you're looking, good, mashallah. If you're looking for Allah, where will you find Allah? By his house. If you're looking for Maulana Muhammad Ali, where will you find him? By his house. If you're looking for Allah, where will you find him? By his house. Everybody is looking for Allah. Everybody is looking for Allah. And I'll tell you just now why we're all looking for Allah. So we entered the masjid. There's another 1 or 2 duas we can read when we enter the masjid. Anyone can tell us? You see, the person who hang that frame there, he didn't waste his time, and we also mustn't waste our time. We must all look at the dua and we must read the dua. That dua, the 2 frames, is for when we exiting the masjid, when we're leaving the masjid. But there's 2 frames there that are there. When we enter the masjid, what dua should we read? So we should take time out. When we come into the masjid, we should take time out and see what is the dua when we enter the masjid. There's in one hadith it comes, when a person walks towards the masjid, he should make this dua. Inshallah, many of us are reading this dua, and many of us will inshallah start reading this dua. That when a person, while on his way to the masjid, he should make this dua. The translation of this dua is, "O Allah, grant me light in my heart. O Allah, grant me light, nur, in my vision. O Allah, grant me light, nur, to my right. Grant me light, nur, behind me. Grant me light, nur, to my nerves, to my flesh, to my blood, to my hair, and to my skin." And this is what we want. We want the light and the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, before I forget, see if you all go outside and we look up, what will we see? What will we see? Stars. Good. If you don't remember what I say in this bayan, you will all see stars. If you go outside and we look up, what we will see? We will see stars. Just like how we can see all the stars. Just like how we can see all the stars. All the creation of Allah that is in the heavens. Who are the creation of Allah in the heavens? The malaika. Good. This is the third. Abdullah dinar, where are you? Gee, go bring my things that I put in your pocket. In your packet. Just like how we can see the stars, the malaika, the angels, can see us just like that. The one who in his home is engaged in tilawat of Quran, dhikrullah, the people that come to the masjid, all these people, you and I, we are shining like stars to the people that are in the heavens, the malaika. If we go outside and we look up at the stars, just like how we are seeing the stars shine, the malaika are looking at us shine. Because where are we? Where are we? Down in the earth. And where else on this earth? In the masjid. MashaAllah. The malaika are looking at us. We are the stars of the earth. You have the stars of the sky. We are the stars of the earth. The malaika are looking at us. And from here till the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all the angels. The angels are stacked up. And they are telling Allah, Allah knows everything. But they are boasting to Allah. And they are boasting to all the malaika that look, Muhammad, Ridwan, Idris, Ibrahim, all these people of Middelburg, of Eastdene, they are in Allah's house. They are in Abdullah, there's 3 short here. Answer 3 questions. Now we'll see how fast you answer the questions. So anyway, we have entered the masjid, right? We read the dua, we entered the masjid. The reason why we're speaking so much about the house of Allah is because this is the house of Allah. So now, I need 3 volunteers. 3 volunteers, right? But before you pick up your hand, you need to know for what you're volunteering. You're not volunteering to hand out the pizzas, because that is my responsibility. And this is how I'm going to give out the pizzas. 1 for me and 1 for you. 1 for me, 1 for you. Okay? That's the idea. I want 3 volunteers. Again, they can just wait, hold it. Hold your horses. They're all picking up their hands for the sweets. Even the elderly, they can come, they can volunteer, mashallah. The 3 volunteers are, you have to come here, and in 2 minutes, you have to tell me about Allah. Only about Allah. You have to speak for 2 minutes about Allah. So you come here, I give you the mic. Maybe you won't become a Maulana in your life, but you'll remember this day that you gave a bayan in the masjid. So I'll give you 2 minutes and you speak about Allah. If there are no volunteers, I will randomly select, terms and conditions apply, from the entire crowd, 3 volunteers. So you come here, I give you the mic, and you start speaking about Allah. Start speaking about the greatness of Allah, who is Allah. Just speak about Allah. Gee, now who's volunteering? Come. Come. Anybody? Anybody? If the person next to you, you're pulling his hand to get up, I'll call you. Anybody? Uzair Pamji, come here. You stood up. Mama side. You have 2 minutes or 1 minute just to speak about Allah. Okay, you say you must make it few seconds, right? 120 seconds.
Allah Ta'ala is somebody that He's a sustainer, the nourisher. He gives us life, He gives us death. Whatever we need, He provides. Without Him, we cannot do anything. So therefore, we need to obey Him in order to get these things. He's most forgiving. So we should not be afraid to ask for forgiveness. More now.
Jazakallah. Out of 10, how much must you give him out of 10? 2, come on, be generous. 0. 2 and 0 is 20. 20 out of 10. Gee, anyone else? Any other volunteers? Gee, come. Any other volunteers? See, respected friends and brothers and sons, the idea of this exercise is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our creator. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our nourisher. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our sustainer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our maker. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the fashioner, the molder. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is khaliq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is raziq. He's the provider. He sustains. He made the whales. He made the dolphins. He made the shark. He made the fish. He made the trees. He made the leaves on the trees, the leaves that are falling in autumn. He knows the number of leaves that fall. He knows the number of grains of sand. He knows the amount of water on this earth. He knows the amount of cement that is in Mega Hardware. He knows the amount of wire and tools that Junaid Borat got in his baki. He knows all of these things. He knows the tires and mags that Luqman got in his shop. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything. It is Allah. We are speaking about Allah. If we can't speak about Allah, we can't speak 2 minutes about Allah. We can't speak 1 minute about Allah. We can't be shy to speak about Allah. We have to be proud to speak about Allah. We have to speak so much about Allah that even our heart starts pumping Allah. Our blood starts flowing with Allah. In our veins is only Allah. In our mind is only Allah. When we say the name of Allah, our hair must stand out of awe and respect for Allah. We must learn to speak so much about Allah that even in our sleep, we must speak about Allah. Anyone know this person? He's commonly known as Bhai Abdul Wahab. Anyone know this person, Bhai Abdul Wahab Sahab? Anyone knows him, Bhai Abdul Wahab Sahab? He is the Amir of Pakistan. He is the Amir of Pakistan. You know, his name is in the Guinness Book of Records. You know for what? He is the only human being in the whole world that speaks the most. That speaks the most. He speaks all the time. He speaks all the time. See, there's Uncle Solly is walking. Uncle Solly studied in Pakistan. Uncle Solly knows Bhai Abdul Wahab Sahab. Can ask him. And most likely he saw him also. Uncle Solly. It's true, Uncle Solly, you saw him? Bhai Abdul Wahab Sahab. You didn't see. Okay, wrong number. But Uncle Solly did study in Pakistan, ne, Uncle Solly? See, Bhai Abdul Wahab Sahab is the Amir of Pakistan. He only talks. He talks one way. And you know what he says? I spent 4 months in Pakistan. Almost every day, no, not every day, maybe every week, I used to hear him. But as much as he talks, he only says one thing. He only says one thing. He says, "Makhluk se nahi hota hai, Allah se hota hai." What he says? Babuji, you know Urdu. Makhluk se nahi hota hai, Allah se hota hai. His whole talk is just on this. That creation cannot do, Allah is doing. Creation cannot do, Allah is doing. He only talks about this. You know what it means? It means that I'm not walking, Allah is walking. Allah is making me walk. I'm not talking, Allah is making me talk. I'm not drinking, Allah is making me drink. I'm not eating, Allah is making me eat. I'm not driving, Allah is making me drive. The sun is not rising, Allah is making it rise. The moon is not shining, Allah is making it shine. The stars are not shining, Allah is making it shine. That's all he says. He says creation cannot do, Allah is doing. That's all he says, day and night. That's the only thing he says. He's not shy about talking about Allah. And we should never be shy about talking about Allah. We should jump at the opportunity to talk about Allah. When somebody says Allah, we should start talking. Allah makes the trees grow, the grass grow, the grass is green because Allah made it green, the sun is shining, photosynthesis and all these things we learn in school. Allah is controlling all of these things. Allah knows what is in the earth, what is above the earth, what is on the earth. You know what I find amazing? That such big animals, they eat grass and trees. Giraffe is so big, but it eats the trees and the plants and the twigs. Elephant is so big, but it eats grass. And a lion is so small, but it eats the bigger animal. Who is making all this thing work? Who? Allah. Now, why I wanted to discuss this? Because I want to bring to my mind and to your mind, who is Allah? Who is Allah? Now when we think of Allah, to be Allah, see, Maulana Yusuf, he taught me one beautiful thing. He said, you see, when we say Allahu Akbar, what it means? Allah is the greatest. But when we say Allah is the greatest, we restricting and confining the greatness of Allah to a period of time. It actually means Akbar. It actually means Allah was great, Allah is great, and Allah will be great forever and forever. Allah was great forever, Allah is great, and Allah will be great forever and forever. That is what it means. Because when we say Allah is great, we're only saying present tense. But it actually means Allah was great, Allah is great, and Allah will be great forever and forever. So, what brings us to the masjid? What calls us to the masjid? Allah. Who calls us to the masjid? Allah. Gee, Azan, that's the answer. Who calls us to the masjid? Get your sweet. The Adhan calls us to the masjid. What is the first thing we say in the Adhan? What we say? Louder. You're giving Adhan. The Bilal receiver is on. Your mummies have to hear your voice. Say louder. Good. So when the Mu'adhin says Allahu Akbar, we have to understand that Allah is the greatest. Allah was the greatest. Allah will be the greatest forever and forever. And now I'm coming to His house. I can't dress the way I want to. I can't look the way I want to. I can't talk what I want to. I can't do what I want to. I have to understand I'm coming to Allah's house. So when I enter the masjid, I can't run. If namaz is started, I run. Because alaykum bis sakinati wal waqar. We have to walk in a dignified and proper manner. If you are late for salah, we walk little fast, but we can't run to the saf. We are in Allah's house. Imagine you invite somebody to your house, he opens the door, he starts running everywhere. What will you say? Yeah, you'll do the exact same thing. You'll laugh. You'll think some screws are loose. Now imagine you come into Allah's house and you start running. What does Allah think? Something wrong with this person. Gee? So when we enter the masjid, we must make salam. Okay? Even if there are people, if it is salah time also, we make salam. Not a loud salam that the imam also hears, but we say assalamu alaikum and we enter the masjid. If it is not salah time, you will find inshallah some people reading Quran, some people sitting, some people making dhikr. We make salam. Somebody asked Bilal radiallahu anhu, when the Prophet used to enter the masjid, should he make salam or not? So Bilal radiallahu anhu used to say that he used to make salam. And he used to say that if you are sitting and you are reading Quran or you are making dhikr in the masjid and somebody enters the masjid and makes salam, how should you reply? Should you stop Quran? Should you stop your dhikr and should you say wa alaikumus salam? He said no. If the person enters the masjid and you are reading Quran, you make like that. You make like that. Like you're greeting somebody. So you carry on your recitation, waladdallin amin. You just greet the person. So when you enter the masjid, Allahumma aftah li abwaba rahmatik. Bismillah wa salat wa salamu ala rasulillah. You enter the masjid with your right leg. Alhamdulillah. You make salam. If those that are not reading Quran dhikr, they say wa alaikum salam, very good. Those that are reading Quran, they should greet like this. And the best place in the masjid is where? The best place in the masjid is where? G, where the imam stays. Good. After where the imam stays, where's the best place? Where he gives a khutbah. Okay. The first saf, right? So the best place is you must come to the first saf. Now, many of you, you are not baligh, you are not elderly, you are not an adult, so you will sit in the back saf. But what is important again? We have to understand this is the house of Allah. We can't fiddle around, we can't talk, we have to respect the house of Allah. We're going to do that, inshallah. We have to keep the house of Allah clean. We have to keep the house of Allah clean, okay? For as long as we are in the masjid, the malaika are around us. They are making dua for our forgiveness and our mercy, okay? So again, we're going to repeat a few things. It is the favor of Allah. Allah has favored us. Allah loves us. That is why we're in the masjid. We are in His house. We are in Allah's house. Okay? Now we have about 4 minutes left. In these 4 minutes, very quickly what we're going to say is, because when you go from here, inshallah, the dasarkhan, the tablecloth is there. There's going to be something for you to eat. Okay? There's going to be something for you to eat. The pizzas are not here. All of you have to go outside, you have to pluck one leaf and you have to eat it. Okay. No, just joking. Okay, so when we leave from here, there's going to be the sarkhan, the tablecloth is there. Very quietly, because we're in the house of Allah, right? We're in the house of Allah. We can't make noise. We go to visit somebody, we don't make noise in the house. We don't run around in the house. We're in the house of Allah. So very quietly, we're going to go there and we're going to sit, right? There's going to be food there for us to eat. What we're going to read before we eat? Ameen. So we're going to read the dua before we eat. Anyone knows the dua while eating? Ji? What? Come here. You can also come say. You got it.
فلك الحمد ولك الشكر يا واجد جل جلاله يا باسط جل شانه.
Collect your sweet. So while we're eating, we thank Allah. You know why? Because there are thousands and thousands of people in the world that don't have food. There are thousands of people in the world that don't have food. Alhamdulillah, we had breakfast today, we had lunch today, we had supper, and now also after supper we're going to eat something else. So today we're eating 4 times. And so many of you brought sweets, I saw there in your sleeping bags. So after you have your pizza, you're going to eat your sweets also. So you're going to eat 5 times today. But there are so many people, Hamad, there are so many people that don't have food. So when we eat the food, we make shukr. Okay? We thank Allah. And when we thank Allah, Allah will increase us in that. Allah will give us more. Allah will give us more. Okay? Also, sharing is caring. Okay? If you have a slice of pizza, break it in half and give the person next to you. Okay? When he has a slice of pizza, he'll break it in half and he'll give you as well. Because sharing is caring. So we have to share with one another, right? We have to share with one another. Okay? There'll be cold drinks there also. What is in the cold drink? No, not what cold drink. What? Water. No. Sugar. Okay. Bus. Gee, what is in the cold drink? Gas. The most important thing in the cold drink is water. So when we're drinking the cold drink, can we read the dua for drinking water? Yes. Can we drink the dua for drinking water? Yes. Anyone wants to tell us the dua? Gee. Come. Gee.
الحمد لله الذي سقانا عذبا فرحا برحمته ولم يجعله ملحا أجاجا بذنوبنا.
Also, there's going to be tea. Okay? Now, besides water, gee, good. What you said? Milk, come here. Gee, when we drink the tea, there's milk. And there's a dua to read when we're drinking milk. What is the dua?
اللهم بارك لنا فيه وزدنا منه.
Good. In your pocket. Big boys get chocolates. With the dua, the same dua.
اللهم بارك لنا فيه وزدنا منه.
This is the dua when drinking milk. So remember, when you're drinking juice, cold drink, you are permitted and you should read the dua for drinking water. And when you have your tea or coffee, Milo, milkshake, smoothie, you should read the dua for drinking milk as well. Okay? After the snack or the meal that you're going to have, or the pizza or tea and cupcakes that you're going to have, inshallah, then you can have a bit of a rest. I think we have to be back here about 10:30. okay, or 9:45. I'm not so sure. Mullah Farhan will tell us, okay. So we'll have this break, and then we will come back here. When we come back from the break, then inshallah there'll be a qiraat, 99 names, 40 durood, and dhikr, etc. I see a few guests from out of town, and some that are from our town, but they are guests nonetheless. So I don't know if they will be conducting the program. Okay, there's one more thing, and it is with regards the itikaf. Okay, Alhamdulillah, one uncle read the dua for us for itikaf, the niyyah, the intention for itikaf, nawaitul itikaf lillahi azza wa jalla ma dumtu fil masjid. We should remember, you know, some of us, we are young, and we are still in school, so we have this habit of eating in the masjid, right? Because when we come in the masjid, the sweet or the chappy is in our mouth, so we still carry on chewing it, and a lot of times I catch you in your mouth, Imam is reading and you're still busy eating your sweets. So when you're eating your sweet in the masjid, you must make the dua for itikaf, right? Is the itikaf dua on that board there as well? Gee. The itikaf dua is on that board there when you enter. So we must learn this dua. It's very important. We can't sleep in the masjid or eat in the masjid without reading or intention of itikaf. It is not right. So when we are making itikaf, we have to read the dua, or when we are sleeping in the masjid or eating in the masjid, we must make this dua of itikaf, right? So we are sleeping in the masjid, right? Alhamdulillah. Many of us, we have put our sleeping bags down, okay? Now, just like at home, when it is time to sleep, it's time to sleep. You see, when we came there to put our sleeping bags there, the light was on or off? Off. Why? Saving electricity. Good idea. The reason why the light was off is because that area where the Hifz class is, where Mullah Panchbai's Hifz class is, where we're going to sleep, it is a place of rest. And when we are resting, the lights must be off. So when you came there to put your sleeping bag down, the light was off to show you that this is a place of rest. This is a place of rest. So if you don't want to rest tonight, then you come to the masjid and you make dua, you read Quran, you do that. But if you're planning or intending not to sleep tonight, then you can't sit there and sit and talk. You understand? It's a place of rest, you have to rest. And the most important thing why you have to rest is because our program shows or indicates that inshallah 4 o'clock all of us have to get up. 4 o'clock. Why? For Tahajjud Salah. Okay? Now Tahajjud Salah, the time of Tahajjud Salah starts when? After? After Isha. Good. And it ends when? Before Fajr? Specific time? When Sehri? When Sehri ends. So Tahajjud starts after Isha Salah and it ends when Sehri ends. Okay? So if you want to, after you have your meal, you want to read Tahajjud Salah, you can read Tahajjud Salah. Okay? Tahajjud Salah was compulsory for all Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam. Tahajjud Salah is a weapon. It's a AK-47, 9mm parabellum. Tahajjud Salah Tahajjud Salah is a weapon. It's a weapon to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, one more thing I forgot. What is this place called? Masjid. What does masjid mean? House of peace, Masjidus Salam, the masjid of peace. What does masjid mean? Gee, masjid. No giving answers, please, no giving answers. What does masjid mean? There's another word that you know. It's very close to masjid. G, mosque. Okay, not English word, Arabic word. G, okay, masjid is one, masajid is many. Okay? But there's something else which will give us the meaning of masjid. Okay, clue. It is a posture or something that we do in our salah. Sajda, good. Masjid and sajda. What does sajda mean? To bow to Allah. So masjid will mean what? The place where we bow to Allah. The place of sajda. Masjid will mean the place of sajda. Now, when a person is in sajda, he is the closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he is in sajda. He is the closest to Allah when he is in sajda. Where's Allah? Everywhere. See, when I asked where's Allah, this youngster here, he looked up. He's right. Allah's throne is up there in the heavens. Allah's kursi, Allah's throne is up there in the heavens. One person told me an amazing thing. When a person makes sajda, where does he put his head? On the ground. And he's closest to who? To Allah, who is where? He's up. So he's going down, but Allah is where? Up. See, one person told me another beautiful thing. You know the sunflower, ne? Anyone didn't see a sunflower in their life? Everyone saw a sunflower, inshallah. See, inside the sunflower, what is there? Seeds. Good. Good. Now, if you tell that seed, can I take you and put you in the ground? What is that seed going to tell you? No. Why will he say no? If it could talk, mashallah. So anyway, we have the sunflower, right? And in the sunflower is seeds, right? Now, if the seed could talk, right? If the seed could talk, and you tell the seed that, can I please take you and put you in the ground? What do you think will the seed say? If you say yes, why are you saying yes? See? Because he's the seed. Why will the seed not want to go into the ground? Or why will the seed want to go into the ground? It's making Allah's nature beautiful. If I'm the seed, I'll say no ways. Why must I go into the ground? I am here with this beautiful sunflower in the sun. And when I'm thirsty, Allah sends the rain. I'm enjoying life here. I'm looking beautiful here. You're going to put me in the ground, who's going to look at me? Nobody's going to look at me. It's sand, it's dirt, it's dust. I'm in the ground. Nobody will even bother. When you're driving and you're seeing the sunflower, you say, mashallah, it's so beautiful sunflower. The seed is, if the seed could hear you, the seed would say, that is what I want to hear. But if I'm in the ground, nobody is going to say such a beautiful seed. Nobody can even see me. So this seed, it's having a nice life on the sunflower who can't talk. But if we take that same seed and we put it into the ground and we tell the seed, now watch what will happen. We put it into the ground and the next thing what will happen? It will grow and it will grow. And that from that one seed, so many seeds will come up. Now if you tell that seed that, this is what will happen. If I put you in the ground, this is what will happen. Now, will that seed still want to be on the sunflower? It will want to be on the ground so that it can make many other seeds and many other sunflowers. So when we put our head on the ground, we are like that seed. And what we're going to make? We're going to make a plant grow. And that plant is going to be connected to the seed. And that plant is going to grow. And that plant is going to be connected to the sunflower. So when we are putting our foreheads on the ground, We are growing. And we are going to be connected to Allah. So the next time we make sajda, instead of reading, Subhana Rabbil A'la, Subhana Rabbil A'la, Subhana Rabbil A'la, finish. No. Say Subhana Rabbil A'la. Because think that you are growing and you are going to be connected to Allah. So now we see, Allah, what? Samsung 5, PSP 6, Xbox. So you have to be connected to Allah. Is that what we want? Smartphones, PSP, Xbox. What else we want? Huh? PS5. All these things we want. But, pizza, good. PS4. Okay, stop. When I asked you to speak about Allah, then you were chup. But when I ask you what you want, then you just say fast. I want this. But who's going to give you all these things? So you have to start learning to speak about Allah. Yusha? Okay. There's another 20 minutes. They can't find enough cheese for the pizza. Leave it without cheese. Okay, for the next 10 minutes, just look at me. I'm not handsome, but I don't care because my wife says I'm handsome. Okay? Okay. So when we make sajda, we are like that seed, and we are growing, and we are getting connected to Allah. If the teachers leave, what's the condition of the students, Mr. Musa? So, the masjid is also the hangout of the town, where we hang out, okay? Because why? For example, you know why we come to the masjid? We come to the masjid to meet people. When we don't meet people, we start wondering what happened. See that uncle? He's gone. Uncle just sits there in a corner. You know him? What's his name? With the walking stick. Anyone knows that uncle's name? Uncle who? Uncle Rashid by Chotia. One day you come into the masjid, you don't see him. Next day you come to the masjid, you don't see him. Third day you come to the masjid, you don't see him. You start wondering, where's Uncle Rashid? Where's Rashid Bhai? Where's Rashid Bhai? You meet his son, Uncle Mohammed. Ask Uncle Mohammed, where's Rashid Bhai? Say, no, Rashid Bhai has gone for Umrah. Oh, we thought maybe he's sick, something happened to him. So the masjid is a hangout place where we meet people. We come to know people. We come to know the condition of people. If they are sick, they are well. When you come to the masjid, what you see? Funeral of so-and-so. Sick person in hospital. I think they took the boards out. Person is in hospital. We come to know what is happening in our town. Okay, one more thing I have to tell you. I said this about 5 times, I think, yeah? Okay, nonetheless. See, in the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came to Medina Munawwara, what is the first thing he did? Build a masjid, good. Sweets are finished, boss. He built a masjid. So when a person comes to a town and there is no masjid, the first most important thing he must do is he must either look for a masjid or he must build a masjid. When our great-great-grandfathers, when they came from India, many of us, when they came to a town, the first thing they did was they built a masjid. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came to Medina Munawwara, the first thing he did, he built a masjid. Okay, what was his masjid built of? Tell me. Gee, quickly, anybody can say. Talk. Bricks, mud bricks, elephant, tree trunks, palm trees. What else? Twigs, sticks. What else? Palm leaves. Good. Gee. So the ground, the floor, didn't have a carpet. It didn't have tiles. Okay? It was mud. Okay? So much so that some Sahaba say when they used to make sajda and they used to get up, the mud used to be stuck on their foreheads. Because the floor was made out of mud. Okay? The pillar wasn't like this pillar that you see here. It was made out of a palm tree. Okay? The roof isn't a roof like what we had. It was made out of, you know this khajur tree, this palm trees outside, the leaves that are like that? That was the roof of the masjid of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So it was a mud wall. It was a mud wall. It was a sandy floor. The pillars were of tree trunks, palm trees, khajur trees, and the leaves were of this date palms, this khajur palm. Okay? Now compare that masjid to our masjid. We have lights, we have a watch, we have fans, we have no air cons, we have carpet, we have underfloor heating, we have a heater, gas heater, we have tiles, musallas, shoe racks, good. What else? We have a roof, we have windows, we have a mimbar, hifz class, good. Qur'ans, bus, enough. Upstairs, downstairs, enough. G, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Sayan. What you want to say? Radios. We have a speaker, radios, okay. So, which masjid was better? Our masjid or the masjid of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Our masjid got so many more things. It is a handmade, okay, handmade masjid. Which masjid is better? Our masjid or the masjid of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Why? G. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam helped make it. Uncle Yaqub also helped make this masjid. That uncle also helped make the masjid. That uncle also helped make the masjid. He also gave money. Handmade. The machine didn't build this masjid. People worked with their hands to build this masjid. His father is an accountant. You see, there are two things. One is the building. One is the building. If you look at our building, and we look at the building of the masjid of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, our building is better. Okay? If you look at the building of the masjid of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and our masjid building, our building is better. But if we look at what was happening in the masjid of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and our masjid, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's masjid is better. Now what was happening there? 4 things were happening there. Dawat, Ta'aleem and Ta'allum, Dhikr and Ibadah, and Khidmat. Dawah. Anyone can tell me what does this mean? Dawah. G. Dawah means to invite. People in the masjid were inviting people towards Allah, towards Islam, towards the masjid. One day, there was a war in the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And in this war, they captured one person. He was a prisoner of war. P-O-W, prisoner of war. They brought him into the masjid and they tied him to the pillar. Now the pillar was of this khajur tree, the palm tree, was the pillar in the masjid. They tied him to the pillar because he's a prisoner of war. They tied him. When it was time to eat, they gave him food to eat. When he wanted water, they gave him water. When he was tired of standing, they told him sit. When he was tired of sitting, they told him stand. He's a prisoner of war. He stayed in the masjid for 3 days. For 3 days. If he wanted to go to the toilet, they said, okay. They took his handcuffs off and they told him, go toilet, and they brought him back. He spent 3 days in the masjid of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After 3 days, you know what he said? After 3 days, he said, he wants to become a Muslim. You know why? Why? They took so good care of him. They saw respectful Muslims. He saw human beings. He saw good people. And he said, if I can see good people in this masjid, then this religion of Islam is right. So with their actions and their ways, they invited him towards Islam. They gave him dawah. They gave him dawah. Once Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam entered into the masjid, he saw people sitting in the masjid. He asked them, what are you people doing here? So they said that we are thanking Allah for Islam. We are thanking Allah for Islam. So this is what they were doing in the masjid. They were speaking about Allah, number one. Number two, we said, ta'lim and ta'allum, learning and teaching. There are programs that take place in the masjid. There's a Hifz class, there's a Tuesday night program, Wednesday night program. After Maghrib, there's a Hadith. There's learning and teaching taking place. Your learning and teaching takes place at the school. So we move part of the masjid activity to the school or to the madrasa. Number three is dhikr and ibadah. You come here to make ibadah, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And number four, to serve people, to make sure people are comfortable. Okay? Now, the people that make this masjid nice are the people that look after the lights, the carpet, the muaddin who vacuums. Somebody checks that the wudu khana is clean, the toilet is clean. All these people we have to make dua for, especially the muaddin. When last did any one of us go to the muaddin and say, Abdul Kareem, Jazakumullahu khair for what the work that you are doing in the masjid? When last did anybody do that? We have to start doing that. We have to go to him. If we see there was one person the other night, he was cleaning the windows. Cleaning the windows. You remember? After Maghrib, he was Zaina Wuzukana, he was here, he was cleaning the windows, wiping the windows. Must go to him and say, Jazakumullahu khair. Imagine we come into the masjid and the carpets are dirty. Will we read namaz? We come to the masjid and the windows are dirty. Will we read namaz? We come to the masjid and there's cobwebs and spider webs. Will we read namaz? No. So we have to thank the people that put money to the masjid. You know, there used to be a tin there and it was written there, 2 rand a day. 2 rand a day in Allah's way. Now that box is no more there. Inshallah, they'll bring it back. So it costs money for the lights. Costs money for the water in a wuzukana. In the town masjid, if you go, you'll see a box there, 2 rand a day. Put your hand in your pocket, take a 1 rand, 50 cents, 5 rand, 50 rand, 500 rand, 5,000 rand. Put it in that box. To thank Allah for these people that are looking after the masjid. Those that are in a Hifz class. You come in the morning Hifz class, you have underfloor heating. So many of you don't have underfloor heating at home. You are warm, you have a gas heater in the Hifz class. All these things cost money, it takes time, and somebody is doing all these things. We have to thank all these people. Okay, very quickly, the pizzas are here. We have to remember, we are in the house of Allah, respect. Okay? When we go to sleep, respect. Okay? We're going to eat, we go eat in a nice, orderly manner. We don't run, there's pizzas for everybody. Young and old, inshallah. So there's cold drink, there's tea. You go in a nice manner, you walk nicely, you make a nice line, and you start from one side, you sit, and you have your pizzas. So most important, this is the house of Allah. Allah is the greatest. Good. At all times, we have to respect the house of Allah. Ramadan is coming. The masjid is going to be full. We have to come into the masjid, tilawat of Quran, dhikrullah. Always remember, respect in the masjid. Don't bump one another in the surf. Once somebody is getting up from sajda, don't send him back for another sajda. Okay? This is the house of Allah. Allah is in the masjid. Allah is watching us. Allah is watching us. You understand? Allah is the greatest, this is the house of Allah. You got it? Anyone else want to say anything?